Please settle yourself before we begin. My name is Thalia Embermere, and I am an elemental binder. I work with forces that existed long before language, before borders, before names. Fire, water, air, and earth respond best when approached with calm respect. So this space has been prepared carefully for that purpose. Elemental binding is often misunderstood as control. It is not. Control creates resistance, and resistance creates instability. What I do instead is listen, negotiate, and maintain balance so each element may coexist without overwhelming the others. That balance begins with stillness, which is why I ask you to breathe slowly and let the room settle around you. The fire element present here is contained, not confined. It prefers warmth over heat, glow over blaze. Fire responds strongly to emotion, especially urgency and anger. By keeping my voice steady and my movements minimal, I remind it that there is no need to surge. You may notice a faint warmth near your hands or feet. That is fire acknowledging presence without asserting dominance. It is a sign of trust. Water rests on the opposite side of the room, though you may not see it. Water does not need visibility to be felt. It listens through vibration, through breath, through subtle shifts in posture. Water appreciates patience more than any other element. When water is calm, it reflects truth. When disturbed, it becomes evasive. That is why I never rush when working with it. Even now, it is adjusting to your rhythm, matching your breath without effort. Air moves freely throughout the space. It carries sound, intention, and awareness. Air is curious by nature and quick to respond, which is why sudden noises are avoided here. Slow speech keeps air from scattering. You may feel a light pressure change as air settles. That is normal. It is simply finding equilibrium. Earth anchors everything else. Without it, the elements would drift endlessly. Earth prefers consistency and reassurance. It responds best to routines and familiar patterns, which is why this room never changes layout. The stone beneath your feet has been here for generations. It remembers balance. That memory helps stabilize every binding that occurs above it. Elemental binding sessions often begin with observation rather than action. I watch how the elements interact with each other before intervening. Fire leaning toward air, water grounding near earth. These relationships tell me where attention is needed. At the moment, everything feels cooperative. That means we can continue quietly. Many people fear elements because they appear powerful and unpredictable. In truth, they are honest. They respond directly to conditions. If something feels chaotic, it is usually because signals are mixed. My role is to clarify those signals. Fire wants purpose. Water wants flow. Air wants freedom. Earth wants stability. None of these desires are unreasonable. Problems arise only when one is ignored for too long. I keep small vessels nearby, not to trap the elements, but to give them a place a subtle sound change as we sit here. That is the elements acknowledging a neutral observer. They are aware of you, but not threatened. Elemental binding does not require you to believe in anything. Belief is not shown through thought, but through posture, tone, and patience. You are doing well simply by being present. I learned this craft from mentors who taught me to stop trying to impress the elements. They are not impressed by force. They are impressed by consistency. There was a time when I struggled to keep fire from flaring whenever I felt excited. Over time, I learned to separate my internal energy from the binding space. That separation keeps everyone safe. Now, when fire stirs, it does so gently. That is growth. Water once overwhelmed me with emotion during early training. It mirrored every feeling I carried. Learning to let emotions pass without clinging helped water remain calm. Air taught me patience by scattering my thoughts whenever I rushed. Earth taught me humility by refusing to move at all. Each element teaches differently. Listening is how lessons are learned. You may feel grounded or slightly heavy. That is Earth reinforcing stability. If you feel light or floaty, air is offering space. Both sensations are acceptable. Elemental balance does not require perfect symmetry. It requires responsiveness. If one element begins to dominate, I adjust the environment subtly. A cooler tone for fire, a pause for air, stillness for water, weight for earth. Those adjustments are happening quietly now, though you may not consciously notice them. Elemental binders are often asked to perform dramatic feats. I decline those requests. Drama excites elements too quickly. Long-term harmony is far more valuable. The world has enough uncontrolled force. What it needs is moderation. I keep detailed journals of elemental moods, though moods is not quite the right word. States, perhaps. Tendencies, preferences that shift slowly over time. Patterns emerge when you watch without interference. This space exists so that elements can be acknowledged without being exploited. That principle guides everything I do. As we near the end of this session, the elements begin to relax. They recognize closure and appreciate clear endings. I slowly release active focus, allowing each element to return to its resting state. This is done gradually to prevent imbalance. You may feel the room grow quieter. That means the binding has settled. Take another slow breath. Notice how your body feels compared to when you arrived. There is no rush to move. The elements are content to remain calm. Thank you for sharing this stillness with me. Balance is something that can be practiced anywhere, not just in places like this. If you ever feel overwhelmed, response.